How do I do it all? The Brezza gives me the power.
Okay, then 1-6-6 as CSK look to avoid a defeat number 6 on the trot at Lucknow. This is Maruti Suzuki Arena presents ESPN Cricket for Timeout in the fine company of Abhinav, Mukund, Wasim, Jaffer and Ian Bishop. What did we get? What did we say our predictions were before the game? Remind me again, gentlemen.
I went 169.
I was way higher, 205.
And Bish said
185.
185. Now, this is where I love that we have three cricketers. Matt Roller deserves a break today because it's on these days that I really want to understand what kind of surface is this at Lucknow and whether this is a good score. Who would like to go first? Let me go with the stalwart in the middle, Wasim Jaffer. Not as flat as you thought before the game.
Yeah, it looked a little difficult because no batter looked like, was in his fluent best, even though Rishabh got runs, but, he was looking scratchy as well. He started well. Even somebody as good as Mitchell Marsh also got 25 ball 30. So looked like a tough wicket to bat on, and a lot of credit to CSK bowlers as well. I thought they bowled really well, especially Noor Ahmed. And I think it's going to be an interesting chase provided LSG bowlers bowl well.
So 166 you're saying is a par score or above par?
So. I would say par score.
Par score. Yeah. Abhi?
I think 15-20 shot at least. Even though CSK are probably not the form team that you'd require, in the impact player league that we've seen, I think 166 should be chaseable. And even though there'll be something in it initially for Akashdeep and Shardul Thakur, we saw a bit of seam movement initially for Kamboj and Khalil.
Yeah.
I think it should be quite similar unless there is a bit of dew. But against a top order that hasn't fired as much, it's right up Rachin Ravindra's wheelhouse to just bat 14-15 overs.
Okay, fair enough. And you think this is the kind of pitch which is, how's it playing? Is it two-paced? Is it slow? Is it assisting spin? Is it assisting pace off?
I'd like to just tease the fast bowler to the right and say there's balance in the game, which I don't like with 250, 260s. I love those games, but the balance is brought back.
All yours, Bish.
260. Nobody wants to see it.
I want to see it.
Oh, stop it.
If somebody went to that Sunrisers Punjab game as a first-time cricket watcher, they are watching cricket for life. Whereas over here, they'll want to go home maybe sometimes.
Okay.
Similar.
But
that is what I think of
Speaking for mankind. All of mankind.
Speaking for my kind, not mankind.
All right.
Bish, what kind of surface is this?
Just look as though it stood up at times and the ball hit the splice of the bat and wasn't sort of like sliding on as often as batters would like. Batters always complain if it's not sliding on like a concrete strip. It's holding up. Like the ball is not allowed to hold up. Sorry, fellas. So yeah, but the key point I think Abhinav mentioned there is their due. That's a key thing that can happen. And if you're CSK and you're struggling and you're losing, and someone told you they'd hand you 167 to win coming into tonight's game, you sort of wrap that up and run with it. It might be tight. Who knows? But you got to chase this.
I'd like to sometimes look at batters' wickets and then try and understand why or how this pitch is playing. So if you look at a Nicholas Puran who looked like he was beaten for pace, or then if you look at the end of the innings where the commentators were saying go pace off and not pace on, and the pace on balls were flying for 6 and the pace off wasn't. So overall, what does that tell us, and did CSK bowl well enough on this? Abhi?
I thought they bowled well.
Okay.
I felt that they had very clear plans, and you could sense that it was driven a lot on field by MS Dhoni, with the spinners having that deep point consistently to Rishabh Pant. He couldn't get away with spin. He went back to pace only when Noor Ahmed's overs were done. He didn't risk giving Jadeja, in spite of him picking up those 2 wickets. But I also think because of the dimensions of the ground, and Justin Langer said something very interesting. He said tennis ball bounce.
Yes, he did.
So again, to execute that, I don't know if Shardul can. I have not seen Avesh use too much of the cutter bouncers. I have not seen Akashdeep do that. He's a very hard length bowlers. So as much as initially they'll have that, I don't think they have the the resource to actually go into the pitch and slow a ball bouncer.
I mean, contrasting story. Noor Ahmed has bowled 4 overs for 13 runs at an economy of 3.25. Jadeja, not bad, 3 overs, 2 for 24. Wonder if they could have squeezed another over of Ravindra Jadeja?
They could have, but I think because Rishabh was batting, they probably didn't took a chance. He would have taken him down, you never know. But I thought while he bowled really well.
Jadeja, 2 wickets and important ones. Mitch Marsh and Ayush Badoni. What did he get right today? Bish? Morning.
I was just looking at some other figures there actually.
Okay, you can go for it because I'm seeing Pathirana and Overton, 6 overs, 69 runs on a game which has ended at 8.3 or an innings. That tells us something.
Exactly that. Overton has to get better. You're only giving him a couple of overs, so I would hope that he would get better in time because he'll be a crucial part of that. Someone who can smack it down low and give you steal a couple of overs. I'm still have a preference with Pathirana in terms of bowling 1 over a little bit earlier rather than 4 down the back end. That's very hard for a little guy. And I don't see any reason why he can't bowl 1 in the first, let's say between 7 and 10, just 1, and then have split up his 3 down the back end. It's very, very difficult. But I understand why they do it, but I see it differently.
There were 8 wides in that inning, 6 of them to Pathirana. And is it fair to say that you are not seeing the same control of Pathirana this season as previous seasons?
No, it's a bit technical, but the shortest point is wherever it is lower, it's closer to the Yorker. So nailing those Yorkers, however horrible it is for your body bowling from here and with all of this, I'm sure Bish can elaborate better. The shortest distance to a Yorker is that.
Yeah.
So the guys who are more slingier get to nail their Yorkers a lot more. The minute you go up, the Yorkers aren't coming this year, and that is a bit of a concern.
We'll go deeper into that looking at the end of the game. We might actually go deeper into the Pant innings also at the end of the game. But for now, how does that innings stand out for you? Was it the right pace? He started off with a flyer, went a bit slow. 63 or 49 is the eventual innings. How would you rate it?
I think he started off nicely and then he slowed down, probably because of Noor. And then the one drawback I feel is he never looks to hit straight. That's what I feel. He always looks to go down the leg side towards square leg, cow corner.
Against spin, you're saying?
Against spin, even for the fast bowler. He hit a 1-6 right in the end, straight. But otherwise, at the start of the innings, always looking to go towards leg side or even that reverse scoop that he did. So that's the only thing. Other than that, I thought he slowed down considerably. And Chennai also, you got to give credit, they bowled well.
Why do you think he's not accessing that shot? Because it is a shot he can play, right?
He can, but I think he prefers that way because he always goes down and look to hit here. He gets out a lot of times. The teams stack up the fielders in that area as well. But I think he needs to access down the ground a lot more, I feel.
Some of the chaos was there today, the good old chaos of Pant. There was that early reverse flip 6 and that 6 that Wasim talks of. Khalil also looked like a freakish Pant shot. So when we see those kind of shots, we tend to think, Pant is nearing his best. Was that his best?
Yeah, I thought he started really well. 27 odd of 16 and somehow just slowed down in that phase where he got to about 38 of 35 and then eventually that score that you're talking. I like this. I still feel Pant has so much to offer when he's moving around. Conversely, you hear a lot of commentators and players saying you need to stay still and hit. I like Pant when he's moving around. It feels like he's more proactive, accessing over cover, accessing straight. It felt like that cover area was closed today for him for business, and that's a bit concerning.
Is it also, you can speak to this, Wasim, on whether somehow he gets stuck because in between boundaries many times Pant doesn't hit gaps like Kohli does or like a lot of other batters do, just to reduce that dot ball count. Eventually the strike rate goes up. Sometimes you can bowl 4 or 5 balls as a spinner, as Noor did today to Pant. Why does that happen?
I don't know, to be honest.
Your best guess.
I don't know whether he looks to do that because Kohli is mastered at that. He gets off strike so nicely. He can play all around. But Pant sometimes does get stuck. That's the issue. And then he hits that bigger shot. So, but I just feel he needs to get better at rotating strike as well.
Does he strike you as someone who's actually not trying to hit singles or gaps? That he's always trying to play a
And
forceful shot, and in that comes the dot.
And when he does it, because he's sort of unbalanced with a lot of the shots that he plays. If the ball isn't in the arc, there's very little room to adjust compared to, let's say, someone who is in a better position technically to be able to adjust. He's sort of like always sort of looking overbalanced to me.
Yeah.
So
Like Pooran, if we have to take a left-hander in his own team, there are gears. Pooran has dropped gears and found gaps when you know exactly that's what Pooran is trying to do.
yeah, as a bowler, if I'm running in to guys like that, the guys like Pooran who have the ability to hit the boundary, and if it's not there, they can sort of still get off strike. Whereas Rishabh seems all or nothing.
Yeah.
And when he's on song, obviously. But the in-between thing.
Pooran's wicket is always a big event now in Lucknow innings.
Congratulations on that, Raunak.
Why,
You are
thank
the
you.
only one who went Kamboj.
I just wanted you to, by the process of elimination,
My God.
I went with whichever bowlers left.
You never hear the end of this now.
Never. You know, I actually
And
don't.
it's up on a plaque in the back there. RK, Kamboj,
We will
Pooran.
talk about AK for now. Anshul Kamboj, set it up for us, Bish. How has he got the best of a batter at the peak of his powers?
Well, he changed the angle, obviously, and I think he bowled a couple sliding away outside the off stump back of a length to Pooran, and from round the wicket, he just got onto him a lot quicker. I think Pooran sort of like, after you get a couple sliding past there, sort of hang back just a little bit and be a little bit late coming forward to it, or trying to get forward to it. So that was good bowling, actually. Yeah, happy that's as good as I've seen in the limited time we've watched Kamboj between last year when he played for MI and this year.
Anything to add? Kamboj to
I
Pooran?
think he bowled very good lengths, even to Mitchell Marsh. He's somebody who bowls that test match length, and I think that tennis ball bounce that Justin Langer talked, I think it helped. And I think he's one of those bowlers, bit like Josh Hazelwood, obviously big name to compare with, but that's what he does. Even in first class cricket, he keeps on bowling, has a good wrist position, and a lot to like about him.
You said
he
some-
admires Glenn McGrath, so he's not too far off with Josh Hazelwood. He says Glenn McGrath is his hero. He's watched a lot of videos of Glenn McGrath growing up. You don't necessarily see the similarities in the action, but based on what you're talking about, that's where it comes from.
It'll take some time for him to earn the trust of MSD to give him the overs that he wants. I think he's a very CSK type pick.
Okay.
And I think MS likes those bowlers who are consistent and give him, like, traditionally you look at guys who've played there, got Manpreet Gonis and Sudeep Tyagis, and then down to your Deepak Chahar, Anshul Kamboj. You've got guys like this, and I think you'll see a role where he finishes by the 14th or 15th and maybe get 1 over in the death eventually. I think he's a solid bankable guy for CSK.
You said something to me initially when we saw before the wicket had happened, saying that Kamboj has the pace that could beat Pooran, and it did look like in that LBW, Pooran was surprised almost, or if I dare I say beaten for pace.
Well, that's the thing, right? Like Bish mentioned, when you're hanging back a little bit and you bowl full, and especially for a guy like Pooran who has 2 gears, the same ball, if you asked him to hit for 6, he would have gone. But he was trying to defend. He's trying to play out that over, so he was a bit late on it.
Okay, MS Dhoni, very quickly, had an eventful 20 overs, which involved stumpings, reviews, run-outs, and he was also being made to dance by Matisha Patirana, left and right. What stands
Come
out?
on,
What's the
Raunak,
most
I'm
memorable?
excited about Sheikh Rashid coming out to bat.
Of course you are. We'll talk about him. I will talk about him. But if I am to, even when he's not trying to get a wicket, gets the run out.
Midas touch.
The Dhoni touch. What can we expect from Sheikh Rashid? This is an interesting surface for him to start his IPL career on. 167. How would you like to see him play?
I'm sure there'll be a lot of nerves, but this is a guy who gets on the front foot, tries to drive it a lot through covers and point. Just a nice, easy initial boundary would be nice for him. And opening with Rachin should also calm his nerves. He's been around the dressing room a lot, and I hope they've given him the freedom to say, just go and bat like how you do for Andhra or in the Andhra Premier League. So a couple of boundaries initially should get him going.
Do they need a big power play? If it gets tougher once Digvesh Rathi and Bishnoi come in assuming spin will continue to be a threat. Do they need a big power play or can they just go?
I think probably 45 to 50 should be good. They don't need to go really hard. They generally don't do this season at least, but not losing too many. And 45 odd, they'll be happy.
You don't need to worry about them going hard, I would think.
But what they don't need is 30 for 3.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. Yes, Bish, sorry, you picked up on something.
No. I was just fully taking in what you just.
No, nothing.
Just
Sorry. Yeah.
cynicism.
All right, Bishnoi is in, confirmed over there. Let's just get predictions, which is really hard for a game like this, but that's why y'all are here. I'll tell you ESPN Cricinfo's win probability has Lucknow Super Giants at 35.76%, CSK at 64. So 64% chance for CSK to win this.
I'm thinking CSK have got this.
CSK have got this. Close game though?
18 overs, 18
overs.
19 overs, I think he'll get it.
Relatively comfortable.
CSK to win, I guess. If they don't win this, then
Say it, Wasim, say it.
Nah, then it's really a poor season for them. They should win this one.
All right. Bish, you had the privilege of watching one ball, if that tells you anything.
No, I'm still going CSK. I think for several reasons. I think it's a very important game to win for Dhoni's own leadership.
Yeah.
To get one out of 2 and see what he can build on. If you can't chase 1, 6, 7, season's really in despair if you don't chase this. Okay. Bowlers did so well.
All right. Inform Digvesh Rathi coming up. New look CSK lineup as well with Sheikh Rashid at the top. Abhinav, Mukund, Wasim, Jaffer, Ian Bishop. Thank you very much. More at the end of the game where you sense there's so much on the line for CSK. Let's see where they finish up. And join us for post-match analysis where we welcome your questions and comments too on Maruti Suzuki Arena presents ESPN Cricinfo Timeout.
How do I do it all? The Brezza gives me the power.